Hey there, I'm Vili, developer evangelist at Oracle, and if you landed on this quick video tutorial, you're probably looking for information on how to install and configure the AI Optimizer and Toolkit. And you're in exactly the right place. In the next few minutes, we'll dive in and get you up and running with AI Optimizer. We'll start with the cloud version, which is super quick to launch. Then I'll walk you through and try out some of its cool features and functionalities. You'll see just how easy it is to set up the right environment for developing your AI application. Let's get started. First, let's open up the official website of Oracle AI Optimizer and Toolkit on Oracle homepage, where you can find a lot of information about the product or its purpose, use cases, what are the benefits of Oracle AI Optimizer and Toolkit, and you can of course find the way how to download and try the AI Optimizer and Toolkit by clicking on a button, which will then take you directly to GitHub repo. And this is the official AI Optimizer GitHub repository, where you can find the entire code with all the readmes. And this README is actually very well structured. You can find a lot of information about the code and how to configure the code later on when you will have challenges regarding how to put together different things. So, for example, you have here information how to put the different setups together, like bare metal, meaning on-prem setting up, and how to run in a container. And of course, if you have an OCI, AI Optimizer can be deployed in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure using Infrastructure as a Code, EAC, based on Terraform. And you can do that simply by clicking the Deploy to Oracle Cloud button. So by simply clicking Deploy to Oracle Cloud, the code, Infrastructure as a Code, will be uploaded to our stack, and we will be able to create the stack after we agree to terms of use. So we can then click next. We can choose the compartment, optional application name, and I will name it very simply AIO. Okay. I will choose infrastructure to deploy virtual machine. We can also use the Kubernetes. And we can choose to use the GPU shape. Of course, you can use the normal CPU shapes, but if you would like to accelerate the usage of LLM models by using the GPUs, you can, of course, use the GPU shapes as well. I will choose the use GPU shapes and go and leave all the rest of the configuration by default and click next. Here we have overview of what we created and what will be created. So the entire stack information, name, description, compartment, and so on. Information about the AI Optimizer application, how it will be deployed as a VM, will there be use of GPU shapes, and how this is going to be run. And I will choose to run immediately. So let's go on and create it. So after a couple of minutes, we have successfully completed, or OCI successfully applied our stack, and everything was generated as it's supposed to. So what we have here is application information, where we have links to our application, public links, and if we click on it, we will see that we will get this bad gateway, meaning that not everything was put together or installed yet. So we need to wait a couple of more minutes, so that everything will be configured and installed properly. We can now refresh our web page, and we can see our application starting out in a Streamlit server. All right, so here it is. And it seems to be working fine. Okay, so let's see what we have. Let's do the quick overview of the functions and features of the Optimizer and Toolkit user interface. So first, we have chatbot. The chatbot is a quick way to test LLM, and it gives you a simple chat interface where you can, in natural language, ask question and see how the model responds. You also have some details, settings for each LLM. In our case, currently we have just one LLM. Let's try if it works. Hi there, who are you? Let's see what the answer is. And it works perfectly. And what is the real magic behind it? AI Optimizer makes exploring and fine-tuning all those critical settings for your AI apps way easier. What normally takes hours or even days of trial and error, you'll be able to do it in minutes. It's about making AI development not just powerful, but fast, fun, and simple. Next thing is TestBed. TestBed is one of the most powerful tools in the toolkit, and it lets you create or upload questions and answers dataset and then benchmark them how your chosen LLM handles them. You can try different configuration, tweak embeddings, adjust prompts, and test retrieval strategies. This is actually the key for developers because they can run systematic experiments and see what works and what not. So let's try. Let's generate a quick answers and test set. We use our AI vector search user guide. Okay, here it is. So this is the Q&A test set. In the next episodes, we will do the separate episode on this testbed functionality. So stay tuned for that. API server. Once we've got LLM or RAG setup performing well, the API server then lets you expose it instantly as an OpenAI compatible API endpoint. This means that any app that speaks to OpenAI API can now speak to your tuned AI Optimizer setup, whether it's a web page, mobile app, or even a CLI app. For devs, this is the bridge between experiment and production-ready service, so very useful setup. Next thing is Split Embed. Split Embed is a part where large documents can be fed to a LLM all at once to the Split Embed tool that can then helps you chunk it. Let's do the population of the vector store. We will do it from local file. So we will browse for the file. We will use AI vector search user guide. So let's upload it. We will name our vector store. So we will name it a vector store user guide. And we will do the populate vector store. Vector store is populated and it has generated 636 chunks for embedding. We can now go back to our chatbot and use the vector search. So we will clear the user interface not to confuse him with previous questions and answers, and ask him a question about the real content of the document which we did, on which we will do the vector search. So let's do it. We will ask him what is vector indexing and see how it will answer this. Okay. It got very relevant. It will show us where he got the answer from the reference text and from which document he took the answer. We have also possibility of changing the different vector store. So we only have one now. And we can also change different parameters for using this vector store. So very useful if you fine-tune the application. The prompt tab is where you do the prompt engineering. Is where you can create, save, and reuse system and user prompts for your LLM. To make it easier to control the model behavior, whether you want it to answer concisely, explain step by step, or follow a specific style. And this is for developers, it's like having a configuration library for your AI instruction, making your experiment reproducible and shareable. So we have system prompt for vector search and the context prompt for large language model. Okay, next thing is configuration part of the tools. And here we have configuration for the database, where we have configured our autonomous database running in OCI. We have a status connected, and here we have our database vector storage with our user guide created by MX DAI Embed Large Language Model. Next thing is models. The models tab is where you can configure which LLM and embedding models you want to use. It supports LLMs like Ollama. Ollama is what is configured currently, and it runs directly on a server in a cloud, but it appears to be locally installed. And this is what we have for large language model. And here is the part for embedding models, which is also configured locally on a server in a cloud. If we want to create or configure our large language model, we can just simply add another one or configure pre-configured configuration like this OpenAI, where we only need to add our API key and a default URL for our large language model. Next step is OCI, is where you configure your account for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, where you can then configure different things like using OCI Gen AI configurations. And then we have settings, where we can download all configured settings. If we do the include sensitive settings, it will save our settings into a file, including the API keys. And in the opposite way, we can upload that file, so we don't have to do the settings all over again. So that's it for user interface. All right, we're just getting started. In the next video, I'll take you step by step through how to install and configure AI Optimizer on your local machine. We'll set up everything you need from the database to the models, so you can run it directly on your laptop and experiment anytime you want. It's super simple, and once it is running, you'll be ready to explore, test, and even start building your own AI-driven application. See you there!